Hello, friends. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us here today for episode 6 of A Detoured Path, where we fully, firmly believe that sometimes the only thing we all really need in life is just a little reroute. My name is Chelsea Marie Mauger, and I'll be your host here today and every day on A Detoured Path. So to all our new and returning listeners out there, if you're finding yourself in need of a little reroute, or already meandering down that unforeseen pathway in life, whether by choice, force, or somewhere in between, or just interested in possibly thinking about things a little bit differently, this could be the show for you. We will be sharing personal accounts, stories, and a variety of perspectives in order to help us all gain a greater sense of community and connectivity in this little thing we call life. Just a little disclaimer before we begin. Though we do try to keep a mostly G and or PG rating here at A Detoured Path, we are discussing life, and life is not always G or PG rated. That's just something to keep in mind in case you are listening with any little itty-bitty tater-tots present. Chelsea, tell me a story. I'm tired, but I'm wired, so I cannot really sleep. My beta waves are calming me so I can then dive deep. Subconscious floating in and out to diamonds I will keep. Sewing up the patches, yielding fortunes to be reaped. Slowing down that inner rhythm till it's all in only me. Waiting for that inner wisdom I was meant to see. If we are all waiting for this giant great epiphany, what do we do when we don't really feel like we are seeing anything new? What happens when it has become pretty gosh darn apparent that we have become absolutely and completely stagnant? What do we do? Do we take action? Or do we just let the merry-go-round continue to run its course? Do we change directions? Do we plow on ahead? Or do we completely jump and abandon ship? You know, I don't know. The sameness is blameless. Don't shame this. Reframe this. Overcame this. She did. And then the word was then famous. Frame this. We did. And then laughed at this shameless because the sameness was blameless. So to blame this is aimless. The sameness is blameness. You can thank this, not shame this, for its lameness. She did, overcame this, and claimed this, and then owned it as the spirit that saved us to claim us on a pathway that was always intended to save us. Oh my gosh. And the universe quite literally said, "Are you picking up what I'm putting down?" But there was no what that happened or appeared in that question. Instead, the word when flashed across the screen. Unintentionally, but also probably intentionally a la Freudian slip style. The magic ingredient wasn't necessarily even in the what, because in all actuality, the I am, that is that of higher power, is really putting things down for us all the time. That doesn't mean, however, that we were listening when it was happening, though. We may not even have been paying attention. The magic, shall we say, is us actually being aware of it when it is happening, while it is happening, in the moment. So, instead of, are you picking up what I'm putting down? The question then becomes, are you picking up when I'm putting down? But are we even picking? Are we even deciding to make a choice? Or are we leaving the choices there, alone for somebody else to pick up and claim? You say you want my help, but are you even asking for it? She says with hesitation. I don't know. Are you asking questions? Strike that. Are you asking the right questions? She says again. I don't know. You say you want X, but is X really what you want? Or is it just something you think you want? Or ought to want? Or think you ought to want? Do you even know what you want? No, really. Do you? Who's really even doing the wanting here? Is it you? Is it your parents? Is it your parents' parents? Is it your parents' parents' parents? Is it your parents' 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 parents? Who is actually really present here? Who is actually really present here in this situation? Right here, right now. Who is really even calling the shots? Where are the lines that we have consciously drawn between who we were, who we are, and who we were always meant and intended to be? And she just shook her head in acknowledgement of the voice that spoke eternally and internally and uttered, quite literally, I might add, what was beginning to become her daily, ever so frequently occurring, oh, which then turned into her daily, she said with a relief. You can bloom like a vision. Others won't be upset. Even if they are, there's no need to fret. Their opinion of us does not help us grow. Instead, it's a hindrance. It just makes us slow. By removing the them from the equation of us, we can learn to acknowledge that we really must trust. And because she did then ask to change, a change she did then see, and so she could then rise above to who she was meant to be. Because she did then make a change she did then see, and so she did then rise above and claim her right to be. Sometimes, it's not necessarily about knowing where we are going, but making the conscious decision to just get up and go. Sometimes we don't actually know what we truly want until we give ourselves the freedom and permission to experience a variety of options. Sometimes we will discover that what we thought we wanted is not even what we really wanted to begin with. It just looked attractive from over there on that grassy knoll we chose to sit down on and watch from. If we were to sit and watch from an entirely different spot, we would get an entirely different view. If we were to stand in an entirely different spot, we would get an entirely different view. If we were to put our hands to the ground and raise our rear to the air, we would get an entirely different view. Thank you so much for your time and attention thus far. We are just going to take a brief moment to recognize today's sponsor, Anchor, for providing a free platform for people like myself to get their podcast off the ground. With little to no previous technical know-how, Anchor makes the whole process pretty straightforward. Go to anchor.fm, that's ANCHOR.FM, or download the free Anchor app today to get started. With just a click of a button, you too can be heard on multiple platforms. Yes, we would get an entirely different view. Our perspective would probably then change. What is quote-unquote good and quote-unquote bad is entirely in the view of the beholder, and we can change that view at any time. The other day, for example, I came home from work to overhear someone at the front desk of my building describing an infestation problem they were having in their individual apartment. The call to action part of my brain immediately went into high gear alert and immediately raced upstairs to vacuum. Again, as a precaution. And then turn on all the lights, because apparently bugs do not like the light, and pull everything and anything that was pushed up against the wall closer to the center of the room, just so I could activate my human, all-dominating switch of, if you choose to take up residence in my apartment, I will see you, and then I will find you role we humans sometimes think we are entitled to have over other species. This tenant that was reporting to the infestation problem was the catalyst to get me to rise to the occasion, take action against something I did not want to happen to me, and in the midst of all this hullabaloo, what I did find, however, was something completely unexpected. There, behind all the multiple emergency backup gallons of water bottles I have in my closet, was the beginnings of a nasty mold formation. The bottles had broken open, and the water spillage in conjunction with their pressure up against the wall had begun to create this nasty growth completely unbeknownst to me. "Oh, no," I said. And thank goodness was what came next. If it wasn't for overhearing this one tenant's plight, I would never have been as reactive as I was, therefore maybe discovering the mold at a much later or much less manageable date. Just a few Lysol wipes easily seemed to clean up the majority of it, and now I keep my eyeballs on every day. Piece of cake. Easy. Reframing the situation turned what could have been a very unfortunate event into a moment of gratitude. And the cool thing was I didn't even have to force myself to do it. It just happened. Naturally. Hallelujah. Praise the human growth and evolvement that really doesn't exist. And each and every one of us. It really exists. Amen. Save me, spend me, sage my way. Palo Santo, light the way. Burn, inspire, direct a path. Courage, guidance, forbidden wrath. Anger, sadness, joy, and pain. Feelings felt, but not in vain. Investing, planning, forging too. All this done for me and you. Pause. And she does. In the fortnight, just before dawn's next light, may there be insight, causing light that's so bright. The role being foresight, weeding out our flight to do what is right and put up a good fight. Use will and our might to slay the dark of our night so we don't have to rewrite a possibly bad plight, proving we don't bite and can hold up our own light. The understanding is demanding and it begs for my ear. The understanding is demanding and it asks me to hear. The understanding acknowledges the progress I've made. It's time to take what you've learned and it's time to share it in spades. Yes, it's a journey and there are steps that you'll take. Ground yourself here and enjoy what you make. Finally! Well, that just sounds absolutely wonderful. The playful monk she came to be, living in prosperity. No time to think, no time to plan, moving gemstones in the sand. An open heart, a level head, giving thanks for all she'd read. Counting stars, blessing dreams, creating visions, building teams. Honoring every step, blessings found in every rep. Preparing for a place to go, on a mission in her flow, not backing down for any man. Passive is no part of can. Able to do what is right, not interested in tiffs or fights. Laying bricks, bit by bit, rejecting things that don't quite fit. Remembering what was once forgot, realizing self is what she sought. Well, I'll be. Who knew? It was only the thoughts, words, and guidance of the inner self that was most needed. And she really was there, all along. Sometimes, all we have to do is beckon her call. In the wise words of Disney's Pocahontas, we never just quite know what could be just around the river bend. And there's no guarantee it will always even make sense at first. But life is a journey, not a destination. If it were, then we'd already be dead. I do not know where I'm going, but I know I'm going to try. Because even though I do not necessarily know exactly where I'm going, I know I never am, nor ever will be, really, truly lost. And neither are any of us. We are never really, ever, truly lost. Our inner guidance is there to guide us all the time and all along. Sometimes we just have to make the conscious choice and decision to listen closely to the whispers and tune in. So, what are you going to tune in today? And friends, I believe that is all we have time for. Feel free to leave a comment or message by clicking on that message button located on your screen. Leave a review and or rating if you liked what you heard, and hit subscribe to get all the latest updates and podcast information. If you'd like to help support A Detoured Path, hit that support button, and your generous contributions will help to continue the workflow, volume, and frequency of A Detoured Path so that we can continue to flood your airways on a more regular basis. I am proud and happy to report that we can now say we are available on 18 platforms, so you have plenty of choices. In the meantime, if you're looking for more thoughts, stories, and insights while you're waiting for the next episode of A Detoured Path to come out, you can find the book Short Girl Diaries, Unedited and Grammatically Incorrect by Chelsea Marie Mauger. Last name is spelled capital M-A-U-G as in good, E-R as in red, which is available on Amazon in both print and Kindle formats, as well as through the Kindle Unlimited program where you can read pages for free. You can also come find me on Instagram at Chelsea Marie Mauger, that's all one word, CHELSEMARIEMAUGER. New friends and acquaintances are always welcome. Just come by and say the podcast sent you. So, until next time, my name is Chelsea Marie Mauger, and you've been listening to A Detoured Path, where we fully, firmly believe that sometimes the only thing we all really need in life is just a little reroute.